Ndị be anyị ekenekwenu m unu ọzọ n'ụbọchị uhuruchi nke tata na Eastern News 24 bụ ebe anyị si were wetara unu ya bụ nnukwu ozi dị oke mkpa dịka anyị si kwuo n'nkwa n'iru akwụkwọ na anyị ga na-agba mbọ na-ewetara unu update bụ gbasara maka ife na-eme n'obodo a na gbasara maka ihe na-eme n'ala Igbo na gbasara maka nnwere onwe ndị Igbo na-azọ maka mkpagbu a na-emefa n'obodo a. Dịka o si dị unu gee ntị n'oge gara aga na uhuruchi n'ụbọchị nke tata anyị tiri unu ka ya bụ ife si wee mee na ụlọ nke ọkaikpe anyị kwukwu unu nkwa na anyị ga-etinyekwa unu na ya bụ update ka ya bụ ife si wee gaa n'ụbọchị nke taa n'ilu akwụkwọ na Federal High Court Abuja. Dịka o si dị anyị ga-etinyere unu ya bụ ife ka unu were ntị unu wee nụ ya n'ọnụ Maazị Nnamdi Kanu Special Counsel bụ Aloy Ejimakor. Gee ntị ka ife ka o si wee kọwaa ya bụ ife ọfụma. Ị ga-esi ya bụ ife dropụra your own comment ife iche gbasara maka ya bụ ife o kwuchazie nke ya ị ga-afụzikwa ife onye ndu kwuru n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụdị nke ya ọ gasị statement o melụ anyị ga-etinyekwuru unu ya ka unu gee ya bụ ife mana gegodu nu ife the special counsel to Maazị Nnamdi Kanu bụ Aloy Ejimakor bụ n'iru akwụkwọ unu ga-esi ya unu ga-ekwuzie nke Maazị Nnamdi Kanu kwuru anyị achịkọtazie ya bụ ife. All right, over to you, sir.
Question. Yes. She said, on what grounds do you intend to approach the federal government
for negotiation
in line with Section 17 of the Federal High Court Act?
Exactly.
Well, what you heard in court about Section 17 of the Federal High Court Act is simply what the National Assembly enacted. The National Assembly enacted at that Section 17 that reconciliation shall be promoted by the court between parties before the court, criminal or civil. So it so happened, and it came to pass that today that very issue was briefly considered in open court. So it is either for the court in its wisdom to initiate it and direct that parties do go and engage in such conversation, which the court did indirectly by not opposing it and by even suggesting it, or the parties themselves, either party, either the defendant or the prosecution can initiate it. So that's not very unusual. Recently we saw a situation where the Attorney General of the Federation took steps under Section 174 of the Constitution, which is very similar to Section 17 of the Federal High Court Act. He took that position to discontinue the prosecution of two very high-profile cases in this country. The first one concerning Wole, Yele, Shawore, and the second one concerning Bodijo of Mieteala. So these things are not unusual. So if they do occur as a conversation in open court, it's just as a matter of course. So people might wonder why such a situation should not apply to Maazị Nnamdi Kanu, and that is what played out in court today.
Well, we have gotten to that same point I will call judicial stalemate. And more important, it has come to the point where national interest is supposed to come into play. I thank the lawyers for holding forth to this particular moment. And I appreciate what the judge said, which is what we have been coming here saying from day one, that we cannot resolve this thing through the judicial angle at this moment. And we have said from day one, both from the moment his house was raided, from the moment he was extradited from Kenya and so on and so forth, that numerous courts in the land has declared those actions null and void. So why are we still here? And federal government has also adopted that same approach in the Metaele issue where they filed discontinuance. They have also done it in Sowore issue where they filed discontinuance. And when we had all these issues in Niger Delta, there was reconciliation and discussions. When we had all these issues, even in Northeast, there was the same issue. North Central, there was the same issue. So how come we have gotten to the Southeast, then nobody is having this conversation? So I'm pleased with the decision of the Federal High Court today. It's already there under Section 17. And it's also there under Section 174 of the 1999 Constitution. The government can discontinue, and grounds for discontinue is national interest, public interest, and I represent the people. Likewise, my brother, other lawmakers from the Southeast, we can't go home most of the times. There's insecurity everywhere. People are being killed, businesses are affected. Foreign remittance to our place is going down because people are leaving those rural areas. There is a matter of public interest and national interest that government considers this option provided under Section 17 of the Federal High Court Act and Section 174, and the ball is now in the court of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu government, As somebody who wants to renew interest, it's time to renew interest in the Southeast by opening the gate and let Mazi Nnamdi Kanu go home. And let's now open the conversation for addressing the challenges that led to this issue.
Yes.
Thank you.
Unu n'anya unu ya afụkwa ma ihe Ikenga kwugasịkwa n'ụdị nke ya dị iche iche na ihe abụrụ nke izizi nke o ji abụ nke ịbụa ya bụ ife na-eme n'oge undergraduate negotiation Attorney General nke bụ AGF wee nye ọtọriti wee release ha na nke Maazị Nnamdi Kanu anyị eme gịnị anyị dị iche mana ya bụ ife gekwenu ya bụ okwu Maazị Nnamdi Kanu onye ndu kwuru ngwa n'ome Igbo
and everything, of course. And some of these soldiers, we are told, are also our people. Yes. Yes. And the family is now in mourning. Yes. So all the making of young widows is condemned in its entirety. I don't want it. I don't want anybody to die. Yes. We are fighting for freedom. Then how can we fight for them at the same time? It's not possible. We want people to be free. That's what we're fighting for. Nothing more. We've suffered a lot in Africa. I don't know if you know that. Africans have suffered from slavery in Arabia to slavery in Europe to slavery in America. So I think we should focus our time and devote it towards making sure that this continent stands up to what God promised it is going to be. And that's why we're doing what we are doing. And everything, of course. And some of these soldiers, we are told, are also our people. Yes. Yes. And the family is now in mourning. Yes. So all the making of young widows is condemned in its entirety. I don't want it. I don't want anybody to die. Yes. We are fighting for freedom. Then how can we fight for them at the same time? It's not possible. We want people to be free. That's what we're fighting for. Nothing more. We've suffered a lot in Africa. I don't know if you know that. Africans have suffered from slavery in Arabia to slavery in Europe to slavery in America. So I think we should focus our time and devote it towards making sure that this continent stands up to what God promised it is going to be. And that's why we're doing what we are doing.
And the buy ngwadaru ndị nne no ome Igbo ka unu si wee wepụta oge unu ige ya bụ ife ewetara unu ụbọchị nketa na Eastern News 24. Anyị sị na ya mara na Igbo na mma na ya dịka echi na echi ada agwụ agwụ na n'Igbo ya dịka echi na n'Igbo ya amalile mma na ya ọbụla ụsọ ya bụrụ na n'Igbo kachake unu go ka ya bụ ife si wee gbata wee kwụrụ na anụgo ka esi kọwasị ya bụ ife ka ife were ikwu n'ụdị nke gị gbasịta maka ihe Maazị Nnamdi Kanu kwuru and ihe Aloy Ejimakor kwuru bụ the special counsel and also the lead counsel to Maazị Nnamdi Kanu and gbasịta maka ihe Ikenga of Imo State kwuga n'iru akwụkwọ ịchịkọ ihe niile na drop ya own comment. Thank you for joining us at Eastern News 24.